U.S. Supreme Court rules many low-level crack cocaine offenders will not be able to get their harsh sentences reduced. This was part of that 2018 huge criminal justice reform law that was meant to do just that. But the wording looks to be what is at issue. It comes from the case of a man convicted of possessing with the intent to distribute 4 grams of crack cocaine. Maybe you've heard it's very small size, about the size of 4 paper clips. The 9 justices said the reform law only applies to people with higher possession who received mandatory sentences. And joining me now this morning live here to talk about this criminal justice reform is Aaron Haney with Reform Alliance. Hey, so good to see you. Can you just talk about, first of all, the disappointment here, knowing that the law was meant for something and now because of the way it's worded cannot be interpreted that way?
This is just one of the most heartbreaking decisions, and to have it be 9-0, to have everyone on the court agree, is just truly, truly disappointing and heartbreaking for all of the people behind bars who are counting on this, mainly because we can see almost everybody else, as you noted, agreed that the law was supposed to do just this. So we had not only, Terry and Terry's defense counsel arguing that the law was intended to do this. We also actually had the government saying, we're not going to oppose that reading. We also now think that the law was intended to do this. So they had to appoint somebody from outside of the government to come in and argue the opposition. And then on top of that, you had the bipartisan co-sponsors of the First Step Act, so the congressional sponsors, write a letter to the court saying, look, this is precisely what was intended by the First Step Act. So really, really heartbreaking and disappointing to have the court go in the opposite direction.
Yeah, the wording here specifically said, had Congress intended to exclude individuals with low-level crack offenses from relief, they wrote, Congress, of course, could have done so. So my question is, and before I ask, nothing moves fast, so it's not going to be fixed forever, but I want people that are watching to understand why this is so important. Somebody that has this, tiny amount of crack cocaine compared to somebody who has this large amount of powder is going to prison for years and years and years and years longer than somebody with powder cocaine.
That's right. So to really break it down, right, where sort of the Fair Sentencing Act, which is what changed the crack to cocaine powder ratio from 100-1 down to 18-1. So still not 1-1, right? Still a disparity. But we had this huge disparity of 100-1, changed it down to 18-1 with the Fair Sentencing Act. What that really specifically applied to in the text of the Fair Sentencing Act had to do with some of the mandatory minimums that started at sort of the 5-gram level. And so when we changed that, it changed the amount of crack cocaine necessary to trigger that mandatory minimum of 5 years. What the court in Terry is looking at are the people who always possessed less than 5 grams. So as you said, these are the lowest category of offenders in this sort of punishment matrix, right? So these are people who had less than 5 grams of crack cocaine. Terry's defense counsel said that they estimated it to be probably around $50 value. So again, we are talking very, very low level. And essentially what the court said was that because it didn't fall into this category where there was already this mandatory minimum, the First Step Act retroactivity didn't apply. What everybody else, including the bipartisan sponsors, have said is that, look, this 100-1 ratio that was in effect at the time permeated everything, right? Sentencing doesn't happen in a vacuum. So people who had, Terry, who had 4 grams, was very, very close before the Fair Sentencing Act to triggering that mandatory minimum, and therefore likely got a higher sentence. Whereas after the Fair Sentencing Act, instead of being 4/5 of the way to a mandatory minimum, he was 4/28 and likely would have gotten a much, much lower sentence, which is why the intent was to apply it to anything that came under that sentencing regime.
We're out of time this morning. I want to have you come back because this is frustrating to so many people that have to watch these, men mostly, in prison for so many years while others are out, and it's not fair. Thank you so much. We'll have you back soon.